Today, I'm making an absolutely fantastic homely snack called Dahi Phulki. Well, many years back, I had eaten this in my friend's house in Banaras. Hey guys, this is Varun Inamdar and welcome to Emami Healthy and Tasty YouTube channel. I am of course making Dahi Phulki. Well, the primary and predominant flavor of Dahi Phulki is actually a red colored chutney. How do you make that? Right here. Well, the first ingredient, of course, for the color and heat are some dried red chilies. Snip the stalks off and break these or keep them whole, but this goes straight in the grinder. The next ingredient that goes in is some cumin. I'm using whole cumin seeds. And finally with this, some garlic cloves. Let's add in some water for that nice and smooth or coarse paste, however you like it. Well, you could also soak the red chilies only if you prefer, but I don't do anything like that. With this, our flavoring paste is done and ready. Let's quickly have a check. Well, that's exactly how we want this. Let's keep this here for now and let's move on to making the Phulki. They're of course made with some besan, gram flour. I'm taking that in a large bowl. As a leavening agent, I'm adding in some baking soda. For the detailed weights and measures, you need to check the description box. Let's add in salt as required. Finally to this, let's add in the flavoring of red chilies, garlic and cumin. Do not overdo this, we just want like a tablespoonful and that's more than enough. Just mix this a little and let's add in water as required. You need to make a batter-like consistency, but the batter, mind you, needs to be nice and thick and not absolutely pasty or watery. The batter needs to be absolutely lump-free. I'll quickly show you the consistency of the batter. It's to be of a dropping consistency like so. Next step is to move on to the frying medium, for which of course I'm using Emami Healthy and Tasty refined rice bran oil. While the oil is heating up, let's give our Phulki a little bit of a break and let's move on to the dahi mix. For this of course, you need curds or yogurt. Next, we are going to add in the flavoring, and like I said earlier, exactly the way we had our flavoring chutney in the Phulki, I'm going to add in a tablespoonful of chutney into the yogurt mix. Like I said earlier, we're going to flavor the two mixes absolutely with the same spice, and there we are. Let's add in some salt. Let's mix this well. And while this is getting churned, I'm also adding in a little bit of water. Mix this well. And our dahi for the Dahi Phulki is churned and ready. Chill this absolutely well till the garma garam Phulkis are fried and ready. Just before we move on to the frying, I'm just taking a little bit of oil which is nice and hot and adding into the Phulki batter. This makes the batter nice and fluffy, and this is also one of the ways in making the pakoras nice and fluffy. Let's churn this well, and our batter now is completely ready. Let's move on to the frying, for which the oil is of course heating up. I also have a little bowl with some cold water. It's always important to use the right kind of oil. For this recipe, of course, I am using Emami Healthy and Tasty refined rice bran oil for many reasons, of course. One is because it has got high smoking point. Two, it has got oryzanol, which helps in reducing heart-related issues and also reduces bad cholesterol. Isn't it great? In between dropping these Phulkis in hot oil, you also need to kind of dip your fingers time and again in cold water so that dropping the Phulkis becomes effortless. With this, you need to crank up the heat and allow the Phulkis to turn nice and golden brown on all the sides. Our Phulkis are fried and ready. Let's pull them out of the oil. Drain them as much as you can and also transfer them on an absorbent kitchen paper to kind of drain away all the excess oil. With this, our Phulki is fried and ready. The next step, of course, is to assemble all of it together. It needs a little bit of a pre-prep with some chopped onions, chopped chilies and chopped coriander, but primarily it's also to bring out the dahi from the fridge. That's our prepared yogurt mix. Let's add the Phulkis to these. Well, if you've seen the recipe carefully, both are individually spiced, individually flavored, and that's the beauty of this recipe. The next step is to keep this aside and add in some sliced onions, chilies, and some coriander. Well, chilies here in this case are optional, but I prefer some. Let's crush these onions like so and add these to the Phulki. And this adds in a complete different layer of flavors. Next is some green chilies. Let's add these as well. And finally, some coriander leaves. Some roasted cumin powder. Finally, let's give this a tadka, for which I'm using, of course, a tadka dani and adding in just a touch of oil. Allow this to heat well. Let's add in some cumin seeds and allow these to crackle. It's done and ready. Let's add this right on top of the dahi Phulki, and with this, it's done and ready. With this, our scrumptious dahi Phulki is done and ready. Well, I understand this is quite a lost recipe, but it's on all of us to revive this. This is seen most of the times only around Ramzan. On that note, do not forget to like and share the video and subscribe to Emami Healthy and Tasty YouTube channel. Bye for now.